morning, my name's Aaliyah. Welcome to a new reading vlog. In this vlog we went on some waterfall adventures, we ran into some baby skunks, we went on vacation to the lake, I read 3 books that I gave 5 stars and really loved, and I had 1 book that I DNF'd. So let's roll the footage. So I started Portrait of a Thief, and I'm only a few chapters in, but I'm having some thoughts. So first of all, this is kind of a combination of the movie Baby Driver and Summer Suns by Lee Mandela, which you guys know I love, and Ninth House by Lee Bardugo, which I also love, except it doesn't have the paranormal aspects of those 2 books. It's much more like highbrow Ivy League college kid vibes. So this book is basically about this guy. His name is Will Chen, and he works at an art museum, and he's an art history major at Harvard. And one day these guys break into the museum and steal a bunch of Chinese art, and turns out the thieves kind of leave him a message, and he ends up kind of getting recruited to work for this Chinese corporation that steals Chinese art back from museums in the US, and he is like down and wants to go and steal art for them. So he kind of like is putting together this little band of friends and other college students to help him basically with these heists. So that's kind of how it starts off. And so each chapter is from a different person's point of view. So we're getting the point of view of all 5 of the characters, including Will. And so we get to see like what their lives are like, and you know, what school they go to and what their background is and all of that. And I like that. And I like the chapters are really short. And there's also some like car racing in here, like in Summer Suns and Baby Driver. And that's really cool too. I love that. But I do have a couple things that I'm like not really sure about. So first of all, this is a debut novel, and I feel like you can tell from the writing because there's some repetitive stuff, like the word changes comes up like 10 times in the first few chapters, and I'm kind of like, okay, I get it that, you know, considering becoming an art thief is like a big change for college kids in Ivy League schools, but like, I got it when you said the word change once, I can infer it. I don't need it 9 more times, you know what I'm saying? And then also the phrase a promise comes up a lot, so it'll be like, oh, like he smiled like a promise or something, and I'm like, I'm not really sure what that means, and I'm not really sure why it's being repeated, but whatever, I digress. So that's kind of something I'm noticing, is that the writing, you know, you can tell it's a debut. And then also another thing is that like in the first few chapters, Will is like recruiting all these people that he knows to try and be in this like heist gang with him. And you know, a big part of the story is about their Chinese American identity and colonialism, because essentially they're like, okay, the American museums have all this Chinese art that they stole when they conquered different places, and they should give it back, and obviously they're not, and so that's part of why Will wants to go and like steal it back for China. And all of the people that he's recruiting are also, they have Chinese heritage and such, but at the same time it's like whenever he's talking to these other college students trying to recruit them, all of them agree like right away, and they never like really think about, okay, there's gonna be consequences of this, like what if we get caught, what if we go to prison, like we're gonna get kicked out of school, and like all these other things, and they don't think about any of that. They're just like, oh yeah, like I'm really bored and I'm down, you know. And I'm kind of like, okay, I feel like that's pretty unrealistic for kids who go to like Duke and Harvard and stuff, you know. But anyways, so that's kind of another thing. Maybe I'm just not suspending my disbelief enough, I don't know, but that's kind of something that's coming up in the back of my mind while I'm reading. So that's kind of my thoughts so far. I am having a good time. It's fast-paced, it's fun, it's entertaining, but I don't think it's going to be a 5-star for me. So I don't know, maybe I'll eat my words by the end of this vlog, but that's kind of my thought at the moment. So I'm going to read some more of this and I will update you later on. An update. So I am still making my way through Portrait of a Thief. I am still not very far in, but I'm trying to get this done by this weekend so that I'm ready for our book club discussion. And so far, I am enjoying it, but I'm not super loving it. I still think Alex is my favorite character, and I'm kind of like living for her chapters, and I also like Lily's chapters too. But the other ones I'm kind of like, okay, whatever, you guys are kind of like full of yourselves. Can we get back to Alex and Lily? You know what I mean? But overall, it's an entertaining little heist story so far. I do like that we've had a little bit more discussion about like the pros and cons of them taking on this job basically to go and steal these different art pieces for this Chinese corporation. And I also really like the parts in Alex's chapters where she's talking about like how she, you know, checked all the boxes and she went to college and she, you know, went to MIT and she got a really good job at Google and she is making good money and stuff, but, you know, she lives with this apartment that doesn't really feel like it's hers, and, you know, she doesn't like her job and she doesn't have anybody else in her life because she moved to the other side of the country for this job, and she's kind of just like, okay, I don't really have anything to lose because I'm already so unhappy in my life anyways, and I feel like that is really relatable and interesting, so I like the discussion around that. So that's kind of my favorite part of this so far. And then also, as you guys saw, last night I started another book, and this is an arc that I got from work, actually, because I work at a bookstore now, and they give us free arcs sometimes because we get a lot from the publishers, and we get so many that we can't really do stuff with all of them, so there's a pile that we can have for free, and so I picked up this one, and it's called Monsters Born and Made, and this is a South Asian inspired fantasy novel, and it's YA, and it's by a debut author, and dude, this is really good. So far, I'm loving this. I'm kind of obsessed with it, even though I'm not that far in, but it's just really good. The writing is really engaging, and it's fast-paced, and so at the beginning we're following these two siblings, Coral and Emmerich, and they live with their parents and their little sister is, like, sick, and in this world, her family, Coral's family, is, like, indentured to this other group of people called the Landers, and the Landers, like, force her family to go into the ocean and catch these animals called the maristags, and they have to catch the stags so that they can breed them, and then the babies that they get from the breeding they teach to, like, survive on land so that the animals can be a part of this, like, big tournament that happens in their, like, city. And the tournament is a big thing because it's like a fight to the death, and the Landers are kind of like the upper class people, and they, like, bet on what maristags are gonna win and that kind of thing. So it's like this big, I don't know, messed up caste society system thing where everything kind of revolves around this tournament. So anyways, at the beginning, the two siblings, Coral and Emmerich, are trying to go into the ocean at night and catch a maristag, and the story kind of, like, goes from there. And so there's these meristags, which are kind of like, I don't know, almost like ocean big scary elk monsters. And then there's also these other ocean monsters that are really cool. So there's like bats and kind of like bat-esque creatures and different things that have like claws, and they shoot like poisonous spikes and stuff, and it's just really cool. And so the whole like sibling dynamic duo with like the monster fighting and stuff kind of reminds me of like the Mortal Instruments. So if you're into that, you'll probably be into this, because this is really well written, and it has like these cool ocean vibes, but it also has like the sibling dynamic and the kick-ass YA, like, you know, teenage siblings who were fighting monsters and stuff, which is really cool. So I'm loving this so far. And this comes out in September, so look out for that. And I'll let you guys know more of my thoughts on this as I read more of it. And I might do a dedicated review video for that as well, because I just think it's really cool, and I'd never heard of it before until I saw it at work. And then speaking of work, I started my new job at the bookstore this week, and it's going really, really well. So I'm having a fun and fresh time, and it's really nice to have a job that I like, and to be able to go to work and like hang out at the bookstore and do shelving and stuff like that. So I'm having a great time. But it also means I'm finding a lot of books, ARCs, and just like other ones that we have that I really want to read. So they have some good nonfiction books and essay collections and different like YA thrillers and stuff that I want to get. But I'm trying to tell myself to like not buy a ton of books. But I did grab this while I was there, and another ARC as well that I might show you in another video soon. So anyways, that's kind of what I'm currently reading physically. And then I'm also listening to the audiobook for Network Effect by Martha Wells, and I'm really enjoying that so far. I think I'm like a little bit under halfway through with that. And so it's number 5, I think, in the Murderbot Diaries series. And so we follow this this basically cyborg called Murderbot, and he basically just kicks ass and takes names, and yeah. And so in this one, he's been contracted to work with the lady that he kind of works for. Her name's Dr. Mensa. He got contracted to work with her daughter, and I think it's her brother-in-law on this like expedition on this research ship. But of course things go awry, and now Murderbot is trying to save them from some very bad alien dudes. So that's kind of what's going on. It's very intense and very fun, and I love Murderbot, and as usual, he's like sick and tired of the humans not listening to him. But I'm just really loving it. I think it's great, and I think that's probably going to be like at least a 4-star for me, because it's going really well so far. So I'm kind of working my way through that still. I would really like to finish that series this year, because I finished books 3 and 4 last month. So I'm kind of just like zipping through the series. And I kind of want to keep the ball rolling with that, because after this one, there's just one more, I think, Fugitive Telemetry, and then I'll have read all of the ones in that series that are out so far. I'm not sure when number 7 is coming out. I don't know if it's this year or next year or what, but anyways, that's kind of something else I've been reading that I haven't really been talking about. But with that, I'm going to go eat my burrito and hang out the rest of the night and try to read probably more of Portrait of a Thief, because I gotta be ready for that live show on Sunday. So that is the plan, and I will talk to you guys later. Alright, y'all, I got another update for you about old Portrait of a Thief over here. So I'm gonna kind of spill the tea while we drink some tea, if you know what I'm saying. But I'm gonna preface this by saying that I know the author of this book and her friends and stuff are big on social media, so if you're one of those people and you don't want to hear anything negative about this book, then click away now. I doubt anybody will ever see this video who's that close to the author, but, you know, these videos are for readers, they're not for authors, they're not for people who are friends with authors. You know, these videos are for people who are looking for good books, and that is all I have to say. So don't come for me if you don't like my opinions. because they are my own opinions. And that's it. So let's discuss. I read some more of this now, and honestly, I have some issues with it. So the main thing that's driving me nuts is the writing style, because the writing is just getting more and more and more and more repetitive as the story goes. If you want to hear more about this, I'm going to link a video down below that Cindy made. Cindy's a really big booktuber, and she was just talking about this the other day in another video, and I totally agree with everything she said. So if you want to check her out, do so. Also, if you want to hear an opinion by somebody who is not a white girl, then go listen to Cindy, because her review was really good. But basically, Cindy was talking about things that I agree with, such as the repetitive nature of this book. Like I said before, the author repeats phrases like talking about, oh, how change is coming, and then also, like, every single chapter has some kind of a scene where the main character is describing the sun, oh, the sunrise, or the sunset, or whatever. It's like every single chapter. And the chapters are only like, I don't know, like 6 pages each. So it just is like over and over. And then the author also is always talking about, like, oh, possibility was in the air. Possibility. It's always like the last word in a sentence, and it comes up all the time. And then also we get like 5 or 6 different POVs in here from each of the characters who's like a part of this heist group, right? But the problem is that every single POV sounds exactly the same, because it's really like told in third person either way, so you're really not getting that person's actual like point of view, or at least it doesn't feel like it. It just feels like the author is giving you their opinion in every single perspective, which is kind of strange. It's like, what's the point of these different POVs if it's not really gonna like actually be different? And also, this is not a heist novel, fun fact, which I was really disappointed by, because I wanted this to be a really fun heist novel and be, you know, the fast-paced art thief vibe, but it's really not that. It's mostly about all these characters and them navigating the diaspora and like figuring out their Chinese American identity and how they feel about China and how they feel about the US, and trying to like navigate that, which is interesting, but it's like that's what the author wanted to talk about, but it's like she threw in a heist plot to try and like make the book more interesting or something. I don't know, but it didn't really work. And I don't know. The heist plot in here is so weird, because these characters are all like college kids, right? And they have never done a heist before, so they have no idea what they're doing. And so to like prep for the heist, their strategy was to watch movies, like heist movies, and read books about heists. So like they're watching Ocean's 11 to like prep for their heist in Sweden, and it's like, really, that's like your go-to power move? And the main character, Will, like goes to the library, the college library, and is checking out all these different books on like every art heist that's ever happened in history, and like making a list of them and stuff. And it's like, dude, the cops would just go on your computer and see like your shared Google Doc between all these kids about all this stuff that they've been like researching or whatever. And it's like, that's not gonna prep you for a heist, bro. I don't know. It's like the author wanted to talk about the diaspora, but felt like they needed to cloak it in a really lame heist plot to get people to buy the book in the first place. I don't know, man. It's just not it. I think at this point, this book is sitting at like a 2.5, and it would be a 2, but the extra 0.5 is for the little bit that I do like, where the characters are talking about like academia a little bit, and kind of like, you know, how they're all jumping through these hoops, and you know, they have good grades and they go to Harvard and these fancy schools and they're doing really well, and they have summer internships and stuff, but they're like, you know, is that it? Then okay, you get a job that you don't really care that much about, and you're just stuck in it for like 30 years. You know, it's like just kind of the discussion about how just because you have a fancy degree and go to a fancy school doesn't mean that you're gonna like enjoy your life after college, which I think is interesting. So that's where the extra 0.5 is coming from. But really, I don't know. I'm disappointed by this book. because I thought it was going to be really, really fun. And I picked it as the book club read for this month, and I kind of wish I wouldn't have picked this one because I feel like it's a long book with a lot of repetition. I feel like I may have inadvertently tormented everybody in the book club by reading this. So sorry to them if they feel even a shred of the disappointment that I feel towards this book. But anyways, that's my 2 cents. That's the tea, as it were, on my thoughts on this. I think I am gonna like power through and read the end. But I think if we weren't reading it for book club, I probably would just DNF it. So anyways, that's my thoughts. Go watch Cindy's video, link down below if you want to hear her thoughts, because her thoughts were also really good. And with that, I will talk to you in a bit. Adios. Hello, my sweet petunias. So, today, I'm actually going to go to a waterfall with my boyfriend, and we're going to go walk around and see what's up. So I'm going to take you with me along for that. But first I want to show you guys a couple things. So, I got a couple new plants. So I got this one, which is a really cool succulent, and its name is Persia. So we got little Persia hanging out. And then yesterday at the farmer's market, I grabbed this other one that was really cool, and it's in like this little pink whale mug, and it's really cute, and my coworkers named it Eddie, so we also have Eddie added to the plant collection. And then when I was at my parents' house a little while ago, I went to Target with my mom, and I got some really cool like magnetic bookmarks. So I got some that are Bob Ross with his like little afro. It's super cute. And then I got these ones that are the Golden Girls, because I'm an old lady and I like the Golden Girls. And then it has like all their little names on the back with like little things that kind of fit with their personality. So I thought those are really, really cute. So if you're looking for magnetic bookmarks, maybe look at Target, because theirs were actually really cute. So anyways, those are some of the little things that I've acquired recently. So with that, I have nothing else for you, and we're gonna go to the waterfall. Let's go. Hello. Sorry if my voice sounds like I smoke 3 packs a day. I have the worst like sore throat voice situation going on. But I got a package in the mail, and it's from Barnes & Noble, baby. So we gotta open it. We gotta open it on camera. I have an awful habit, of getting packages in the mail that I know are gonna be books and just like not filming it at all. Because I get too excited and I can't wait. But today, even though my voice sounds just god-awful, just horrible, we're gonna do it anyways. Seriously, I've been popping cough drops like left and right. And fun fact, for those of you who know I have a potato allergy, cough drops, yeah, they got natural flavor in them. They got potato in them, possibly, probably. So that's cool to learn that I'm also allergic to cough drops. Fun times, fun and fry. I can see the books, but do you think I can get this tape? No, I sure can. Sure can make it happen today. Good Lord. Here we go. All right, beautiful. Oh, beautiful. I bought these myself because really it's my boyfriend's fault, because he went through my gift cards the other day and was like, you have a Barnes & Noble gift card, and I was like, I do? So I had to go do some damage, you know what I'm saying? So I got this beautiful copy of What We Harvest, which is a YA horror that just came out, and I'm so excited about this. Oh, stunning. Oh my god. Look at these end papers. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Ooh, and it's like blue and silver. Oh, that's pretty. That's super cool. I read like the first chapter of this on the Barnes & Noble website, and it was so good. Ooh, what is that? It looks like there's maybe like some pages that have funky font. I'm trying to find another one. I just like saw it in passing. That's cool. I think this book's gonna be really, really good. Ooh, yeah, it looks like there's little like, I don't know, almost like letters in here too, kind of. Ooh, that's cool. So that's the one thing that I got. And then I also grabbed this other new release that I'm really excited about. Oh, this is super big. This is bigger than I thought it was gonna be, dang. In a Garden Burning Gold by Rory Power. Hello. So this is Rory Power's new adult fantasy. I think it's adult. She also wrote Wilder Girls and Burn Our Bodies Down. And this is her first fantasy novel that she's written, and I'm so excited. And it looks really, really cool. Wow, in the back, ooh, girl. Damn, this cover is gorgeous. Can I just say? Ooh, and it's blue and gold underneath. That is awesome. God, this is stunning. This is so cool. So anyways, I'm super excited about both of these. So we love a little good book mail. Oh man, I'm super excited. This one is on my summer TBR. This one, I don't know when I'm gonna read this, but it might be sooner rather than later with how stunning this cover is. And I love Rory Power's writing too. So that's exciting. And then I also wanted to do a little bit of a reading update because I haven't in a fat minute. So, you know how I said I was gonna power through and finish Portrait of a Thief, right? Well, I decided to just hard DNF this because at this point, it's just putting me in a reading slump and I don't care about the characters. I'm not invested in the plot. And there was one part that like really pissed me off where I was like, this is the last straw. Like the plot's not good, the characters are boring, and the writing is super repetitive and not good either. But the part that got me was this character Irene, who is like openly gay, right? And she has this friendship with this other guy, Daniel. And Daniel like has a crush on her and stuff, but he knows that she's not into men. And he gets drunk at a party and she kisses him. And it's like, girl, what are you doing kissing this guy? You are just leading him on. Like, he knows that you are gay and he's gone with you to Pride before, and I don't know what the hell you're doing, like, just leading this poor man on. And I like him, and he's hot, and he's got a dragon tattoo and everything. And she's just, like, honestly bitchy. And I think she's supposed to have a romance with this other girl, Alex, later on. And the gays can't even save it at this point. Like, Irene is so rude to Alex, and she's like leading on this other guy, Daniel, who she's not going to be with anyways. And I'm like, dude, I don't want these two girls to have a sapphic relationship because they're super rude to each other. So I'm like, that's just going to be toxic anyways, and I really don't care to read anymore. So I'm hard DNFing this, and I'm unhauling it because I'm over it at this point. I really am. Also, my battery's dying, so that's cool. So we're gonna wrap this up quick. So also, I started rereading One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston, and I'm absolutely adoring it. I love this writing. I love these characters. It's cozy. It's comforting. I'm obsessed. So I'm gonna try and finish this soon. Maybe not in this vlog, but we'll see. And then I'm also still currently reading Monsters Born and Made. So these two are ones that I'm going to try to finish. And then I'm also going to try to finish Network Effect. So that's the game plan. I'm going to go do some reading because your girl needs to. And I'm going to shut up because my voice is about to die. And so is my battery. So I'll talk to y'all later. Okay, so this morning Peyton and I are getting ready to go to vacation at his parents' house, and we're gonna go to the lake and have fun. So I'm gonna go pack my stuff and then we're gonna go on vacation. I'm coming.
Do your intro. What's up?
You guys, not to come at you just looking a wreck. I just woke up this morning and I'm so excited. Yesterday I posted on Twitter that I had 95 subscribers and my goal is to hit 100 by my birthday on August 30th. And I woke up this morning and everybody had like retweeted it and shared it, and now I have 108 subscribers and I am so happy. I'm so thankful. Thank you guys so much for being so supportive. I love you guys. Oh my god, I can't believe it. I'm in shock a little bit, I think. I'm so excited to keep making videos, and I love that you guys are enjoying them, and the views have been really good lately, and you guys are being so kind and supportive and leaving me so many sweet comments, and thank you so much. I love you. You're the best. You're amazing. I'm gonna go edit another video and read some books. Goodbye, my darlings. Hello. So I've read a lot more of Monsters Born and Made by Tanvi Berwah. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering that name. And I'm on page 188, and I've been reading this and following along with the audiobook. And oh my god, honestly, I think this is the best YA fantasy I have read in ages. It is extremely good. The writing is descriptive and lyrical, but it's not overly descriptive. And I feel like I can just picture everything that's happening like a movie in my head because the author just wrote it so well. And so we're following this main character, and her name is Coral. And she is in this family, and they're called the Hunters. And they're like the only ones in this society that hunt these creatures called the Maristags. And they are basically in servitude to the upper class in this world called the Landers, and so they have to hunt the Maristags. Like, it's not a choice for them. And in this world, there's the upper class, the Landers, and the lower class is called the Renters. And the Hunters are not really in either class. Like, they're kind of renters, but they have more like resources than the Renters do, and the kids went to Lander schools and stuff, so they're kind of in between. And in this world, that's a really big deal. Like, the Landers are really, really powerful. They have all these resources. The world that they live in is a really harsh world. Like, they have all these sea creatures that are always attacking their island. And the sun is really, really hot and blazes on the island. So if you're outside a lot, it will burn your skin really bad. And so the Landers have all this technology that they use to protect themselves from the sun, and they have really good medical technology, but the Renters don't have access to any of those resources. So they're really poor, and a lot of them live on the streets, and they live in, like, you know, these really ramshackle houses and things. And they have a black market that they go to try and get what little resources they can. And so in this book, our main character Coral is kind of fighting to save her family because she has a younger sister named Lyria who's really sick, and she needs medication, but her family can't get the medication because the Renters won't give it to them from the black market, and the Landers won't let them use their fancy medical systems. And so Coral basically enters this race called the Glory Race because she's trying to win the prize money so that she can help get medication for her sister and so that her family won't starve. So she enters this race, and then things kind of go from there, and she kind of cheats her way into the race, and it's very like Hunger Games vibes but with ocean creatures. It's really cool and interesting, and the action is awesome. We've got like lots of fast-paced fight scenes and things, and in the race there's different events, and so they have to like have a Maristag that races with them. So it's basically like a chariot race, kind of like gladiator style, and the contestants are in a chariot that's being pulled by a Maristag, and they have to go through all these obstacles and things and like keep their Maristag under control, and also like try and beat all the other contestants to the finish line. And so as the race goes on, people get eliminated and that kind of thing. So people are really mad in the society because our main character Coral is like from kind of the lower class, and she's doing really well. And so the Landers are getting really mad, and there's like riots going on and things, and the society is really like on the verge of rebellion because there's this rebel group that's forming on the side, and there's a lot of different things going on with them. Like Coral is not on their side, but she's also not on the Landers' side, so she's kind of in this position where she's like in the middle between these two opposing groups, and she's not really on either side, and she's just trying to fight for her family. And I like Coral as the main character because she is so tenacious, and she's like, no, like, I'm gonna win this competition. I don't care if nobody believes in me. Like, her family members aren't even sure if they believe in her ability to win this race, and she's trying to like form this connection with her Maristag, and it's just really interesting. And she is such a fighter. She's like, I'm gonna kick ass and take names. Like, I did not come here to play, and I don't care if these Landers think they're better than me. Like, I'm gonna kick their ass in this race and take this money and save my family. And I just love that about her, and it's just really entertaining. And then she also has this guy that she kind of had a thing with, like when they were kids, and so we kind of get flashbacks to that as well. And he's also in the race too, and his name's Dorian, and he's a Lander, and his dad is like one of the richest Landers on the island. And so it's about them kind of like struggling because they're competing with each other in this race, and they've been estranged from each other for a while, and they both have really abusive fathers that they're dealing with as well. And so that's also a part of the book, and it's just really good. And so I have a couple quotes that I wanted to read. So the first one is right at the beginning. It's on page 13. Coral says, "Mama says it's human nature to fight for dominance and thrive off the misery of others. I think it's just the cold touch of money." Sis, pop off. She was right and she should say it. And then I have another one. It says, "We were two kids who liked Maristags in the sea and not our fathers." That's about her and Dorian, and it just, these lines just hit and they like give me chills. I love this author's writing. And then the last one I wanted to share is, "Dorian's need to win, his frustration at me refusing to back down and damage his chances, his anger, all of it stems from being treated less like a boy and more a machine to show off." Oh my god. Chills. I have chills. So I'm loving this book. I think if you are looking for a YA fantasy that's got high action and a really interesting world and vivid characters and a lot of world building that's not like too dense or overpowering, but just enough for you to be able to really picture this world, this is a really good one. And it just came out September 6th, so it's on audiobook on Scribd if you have that and are interested. So this is one that I'm really excited to finish. I'm hoping I can finish it tonight and then give you my final thoughts in a bit. Alright, it's time to wrap up this vlog. So I just finished Monsters Born and Made, and oh my god, that ending was straight up like batshit crazy. And I have no idea if there's going to be a sequel to this or if this is really the whole story, because I feel like the end was so open-ended and there's a few things with some characters that didn't totally get wrapped up. So I'm not sure if we're gonna get another book and this is like the start of a trilogy, because I feel like that's kind of the vibe I'm getting, but there hasn't been anything announced about there being a second book. So honestly, this is 5 stars. I loved it. It held my attention the entire time. I was super invested in the characters. The action was really good. The ending just had like boom, 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 boom. Things were happening. People were dying. There was monsters fighting. It was great. It was 10 out of 10. Obsessed with this. Highly recommend that you pick this up if you're into YA fantasy. And then if I find out that there is a sequel or it's going to be a trilogy or a series or whatever, I will let you guys know, because I really need to know. And then I also finished One Last Stop by McQuiston, and I also am giving this 5 stars. I really loved my reread of this, and the whole time I was thinking, like, last time I read it, was it just a fluke? Like, is this book really that good? No, it really is that good. And honestly, these 2 books are definitely in my top 10 books that I've read this year. This one in particular is one of my faves because it's so cozy and comforting, and also the main character August is really just trying to find herself during this book, and she's trying to figure out what home is to her because she's moved around a lot. She's transferred to different colleges and none of them really fit her, and so she's trying to figure out like who she is and what she wants and how she fits into the world. And there's this really good quote that she says where she's like, you know, it seems like other people want to be architects or doctors or whatever, and she's like, what if I just want to be August? What if I just want to be myself? And I'm still trying to figure out who that is and what that means. And I just think that's a really beautiful thing, because I think that's so true. People are just trying to figure out who they are, and maybe, you know, you don't want to be a doctor or an architect or something with a label, like you just want to be you. And I think that's so beautiful. And also it talks a lot about her friend group and how they all kind of just like happened to end up being roommates, and their dynamic is really, really great, and I love that. And I love just their interactions with each other are so funny and interesting. And then there's also the aspect of like August's relationship with Jane, and Jane talking about her life in the 70s and all the movements she was a part of. And it was so interesting to think about how a lot of the stuff that was going on in the 70s is really similar to what's going on right now, and that was super interesting. And I just really love this book. I think it's beautiful. I think it's well written. I think it's really fun and fresh and witty, while also being really important and deep in a lot of ways. And I love it. I just love it. So that's kind of my thought on that. So I gave these two 5 stars. And then I also read this poetry collection by Michael McGriff called Home Burial, and I also gave this one 5 stars. You guys know I've been reading Mike McGriff stuff lately, and I really enjoyed this collection. It's lyrical. It's more kind of like dark nature poetry. But this one had some that like really were hard-hitting and kind of dark, and I really liked that. There was one called Catfish that was really dark and interesting. And then I also really liked Year of the Rat, Note Left for My Former Self, Drinking at the Rusted Oyster, In the Break Room, and The Light in November. And these poems are really, really interesting because it talks about like life growing up poor in rural America, and there's a lot of imagery around like animals and nature, and I think it's really cool and beautiful, and I loved it a lot. So these 3 I gave 5 stars. And then I DNF'd Portrait of a Thief, as you know, and then I'm still working my way through the Martha Wells book that I was reading earlier on audio, and so I don't think I'm going to finish that in this vlog because I think I am in the mood for some other books that aren't sci-fi at the moment, but I will be finishing that soon. So those are all the books that I read in this vlog. If you got to the end, please leave me a wave emoji for Monsters Born and Made. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for caring, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!